Many people, especially the young ones in their 20s, are in a dilemma whether they can start and handle a business or they should just stick to a job having nothing to worry about. Many people don't have a clear understanding of what is better between a job and business. There are many with jobs who want to quit and start a new journey of building their own businesses. But there is this one thing that actually stops many from starting their own business, and that is the risk of failure and running into major financial, mental, and social trouble. Many people aspire to own a business, earning them a bunch of money, but some thoughts of failure, funding, family responsibilities force them to drop the idea. So have you ever been in a situation like this? Have thoughts like, let's just quit this 9 to 5 job and start afresh ever occurred to you? Or that you're confused whether you should stick to this current job or you need to be an entrepreneur? If all of these thoughts cross your mind, then don't worry. In today's video, we are here to take you through what it takes to build and maintain a business and what it is like to be in a job and working for someone else. We will understand the pros and cons of both of these, and we will also give out some tips and an example that might help you decide which suits you best. If you think about the job versus business debate, both sides have equal supporters. But in the current world, we have positively seen the rise of entrepreneurship over employment. If we consider a report by Economic Survey, then the number of new startups have increased to 14,000 in 2021-22 from only 733 in 2016 and 17. But starting a business is not everyone's cup of tea. And to run your own business, you will need some practical training that a job can provide you. So let's dive deep into understanding when should you work as an employee and when should you actually venture into a business. Starting with the basics, let's first understand what is a job. What do you understand by a job? Well, job has multiple definitions. It can be defined as a part-time or full-time piece of work or employment. It can be easily recognized as a responsibility or duty for a specific kind of work. A job gets you a predetermined salary. However, the most important characteristic of a job is that here there is always a person who is superior to us, and that person determines our salary or the remuneration we will be paid for our work. Usually, a job has no risk. If you are doing your work properly, then there is no reason to terminate you from the job. Also, whatever happens, you will receive a salary at the end of that month. Doing a job means we are working for someone else. It means we have a boss and we have to work for him. He earns the profit and you will receive salary as an income. Now, what is a business? Well, a business can be defined as an organization that has commercial, professional, or non-commercial objectives. It is a collection of one or more people who work together to achieve a common goal. Businesses can be profit-oriented or it could be social service-oriented. It means businesses can be divided into two major parts or main parts according to the objective. So one, it could be the profit-oriented organization. The other one could be non-profit organizations. According to the size, a business can be divided into three main parts, which are large, medium, and small-scale business that one can start. Doing business means becoming a boss. You can decide anything when you are doing a business, and the success of the business wholly depends on you. Now, when you choose a career, you have two options in front of you. Either you can find a job or you can start a business. Each of these options has its advantages as well as disadvantages. To determine which one is best suited for you, you also need to learn what are the differences between the two. With that said, now let's understand what are the key differences between a job and business. So the very first one is risk. Being at a job is nothing compared to running a business. In a job, regardless of the type of work you do, you are constantly betting in one direction, increasing your odds of being rehired even if you lose your position. But as a CEO, you will spend many years mastering a variety of skills. You can get fired from a job and you can still find another job. Or you can lose your business overnight, making starting a new business or seeking for work a complete nightmare. So in terms of risk, job is better than a business. Next comes profit. Now, if you work for a job, then you will not receive any kind of profit or share from the profit which the organization is making. You will just receive your fixed salary or income. So if you run your own business, on the other hand, all the profits that the organization makes directly goes to you. Next comes effort. It will take years to build a profitable company and assemble the ideal personnel. Climbing the corporate ladder and becoming a top executive takes years. In business, you will face many compromises, sacrifices, and give up on things, as well as having a strong will, tension, and pressure. So when we look at how much effort you make, then a job is less difficult when compared to running a business. Next comes vision. In a job, you're working towards the vision of your boss. Here, collective people work towards achieving the goal of the boss. On the other hand, if you do a business, then you're working towards your own vision. The next one is motivation factor. Now, the motivation factor behind a job is bonuses, the rewards, and promotions. However, the motivation factor in a business is success, profit, and goodwill. Next, when we talk about growth, the growth in a job is very limited. The only growth here you get is when you get promoted from your current post. A business, on the other hand, helps you grow in many different ways. And lastly, when we talk about satisfaction, then as per the studies, it has been claimed that about 80% of the working individuals are not quite satisfied with their job. Satisfaction could also be a varying magnitude and reasons. It could be dependent on the company and your past experiences to define what work you do. Whereas a business owner will 80% of the times be satisfied with the work he is doing, since he has the freedom to choose. So when we talk about job and business, then business is more satisfying to the individuals. So like I said in the starting of the video, that both of these, job and business, has their own equal supporters. So with that said, now let's understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of both. Now talking about the advantages you get in a job, then here you get security of income. Here you get quick promotions and increments based on your performance. And lastly, your work is not at all affected by market conditions. Talking about cons or disadvantages of a job, then here you don't get much financial freedom. You can't be really flexible with your timings. And lastly, you need to be very consistent and high performing, leaving many exhausted and health issues arise as well. Now talking about the advantages and disadvantages of a business, starting with the advantages, the first one is here you're a boss of your own will. You can earn a lot of money in no time. And lastly, you can make decisions that you like. Talking about the disadvantages of the cons, then here you need to put in a lot of effort to build and to establish your own business. You may also face a complete failure. And here the work you do is definitely affected by market conditions. So now that we have understood the definition, the differences between the two, and also the pros and cons, now to decide which one really suits you better will depend on various factors that you need to take into consideration, such as money, growth, comfort, security, intellectual growth, self-capacity, personal growth, then impact on the world, personal attitude, passion, and the list goes on and on. So let's now understand this with an example. So let's say there are two people, Roy and Ray. Let's say Roy is someone who likes meeting new people, exploring new things, experimenting and learning new skills. Whereas on the other hand, Ray is someone who likes his own comfort zone and is very calculative with the risk he takes. He generally doesn't experiment a lot and he likes things to be very steady. Now let's assume there are two types of jobs. Job 1 offers you great package, great work culture, great security, great growth, but the person has to stick to his desk and has to work on technology or the skills for the next 5 years. On the other hand, job 2 also offers you all the same kind of facilities as job 1, but here the person has to keep upgrading and learning technology with time. Now, which one do you think is actually suited best for Roy or Ray? Because both of these jobs are great. So to talk about Roy, then probably job 2 is more suited for him. Why? Because he's the kind of person who wants to meet new people, wants to explore more. Whereas for Roy, job 1 is more suited given his nature. Had they been reversed, it wouldn't have worked either for Ray or for Roy. So to answer the question, which one is better, job or business, then let me tell you, the employee's life is much like job 1, where there is less risk and you have a lot of time to make mistakes and learn without losing much. A business is much like job 2, where you have to keep learning and upgrading with an added risk that if you make one mistake, you could lose it all. So to sum it all, if you're someone who comes from an impoverished family, then a primary selection between job and business favors the job. It is crucial that you start your career with a job that offers you experience as well as savings, and then as and how you become financially sound, then gradually you can establish your business. The dispute between job and business exists. However, this is an unwinnable dispute because no one knows which is best suited for anyone. You have to decide which is better based on the respective advantages and disadvantages. One person may argue that a job is much better option, and while the other might argue that the business is much better. Because here, when you agree to what is better between job and business, it is based on subjective judgments. Therefore, regardless of the path you choose, always strive to improve yourself. The decision you make in the coming years will be determined by your priorities, engagements, and interests. So now that you've got a fair understanding of what is a job and what is a business and which one should you actually choose, I have a suggestion for you. If you're someone who's just starting out your career and you're inclined towards working for someone else, then we have built an exclusive course on how you can crack your interview and get into your dream job. On the other hand, if you are someone who's worked for a couple of years and now you want to venture into your own business, and you have a great business idea, then we have built a number of courses that will help you decide which business you can actually get into and how these businesses will fetch you lakhs of money. So hurry up and download our Financial Freedom app from either Play Store or App Store, wherein we'll teach you either how to crack an interview and get into your dream job, or if you're someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, then we'll teach you how you can establish a successful business. Also, before going, do not forget to hit on the like button, subscribe to our channel for more such financial content, and also do not forget to hit on the bell icon to get notified for our next video. Thank you for watching IndianMoney.com. Get wise, break free.